What's up guys, this is a video about a homemade surface grinder attachment. So I make butterfly knife blades and they have to be flat. This is my granite surface plate that I always used to hand sand them on to get them flat after the heat treat. It takes way too long, so I decided to make my own. So here is my Porter cable belt sander. This is what I use to grind all my blades and just stuff around the shop. And then here is my attachment right here. These are two big old square tubes, they're inch by inch. I put them on here, attached to the same bolts that this thing is mounted to make sure it's square. And over here is the side of the attachment. So here's the whole rig. This was all made. This is the belt sander. This is a magnetic chuck from Grizzly Industrial. It's a 4" by 7". This is all made of hot rolled steel I had laying around. This was all cut out of, these 3 layers were all cut out of one big plate of hot rolled. And I took this piece, and this piece into my work onto a manual mill at a machine shop, and I face milled them, you can see right here, to make sure they were all flat and square. These two I welded together, drilled through them, and then ground the welds off and put these pins in there. These are stainless steel CNC table pins, fixture pins. So welding them together made sure the hole is drilled through straight so it goes up and down. This is my Z axis. So made this little bolt down here and tapped a hole through there, weld the handle on, and it raises it in the Z axis. The pins were drilled straight through because they're welded together, so I know that's square. So it raises evenly, pretty evenly. Down here, these pins were tapped, so these springs right here are springs I had lying around. So these actually pull it back down. So when I go up, it slides up. When I move it like this, the springs pull the plate back down. It's hard to see in the video. Originally, I had some rocker arm springs from an old V8 engine right there. They turned out being too big, but I made do with what I have right here. Probably change that in the future, but this is what I got for now. This was a scrap blade I had lying around that was way out of dimension, so this was my test piece. Here's a side I did on about 150 grit belt, kind of like a roughing. And then this side I did with a, I believe, 1000 grit belt on the other side on the surface grinder. And it turned out pretty decent. Not bad for the first one. So this plate in here slides freely between this 1/2 inch square stock I had welded in here. Slides back and forth through there. This is my Y axis. This is Z. Slide it back and forth. I mount whatever I need to surface grind right here. Turn on the magnetic chuck. It sits, moves back and forth. Pretty self-explanatory. Slides back and forth. Very simple. Here's an up-close look at my Y-axis plate, or slide plate, whatever you want to call it, out of the jig. It's about 3/4 of an inch thick, 3 inches wide. Like I said, all this is face milled at my work, so I know it's flat. The chuck is mounted directly to it from these pusher clamps I had added in. I tapped hole through there, welded that there, and it's got grooves in there. That's what holds it down. Crank them down flat, stone the bottom, so I know this is sitting flat on there. So this is what slides back and forth. Here's what it looks like without the X-axis on there. It sits in here, slides forward and backwards, and I adjust it up and down. So far it works pretty good. Maybe a half that, maybe a thou off in some spots, but not bad for a homemade surface grinder. I definitely do want to make some changes to it in the future. First one, better springs. These are pretty crappy. Second, I would like to mount this cross slide to where it's not able to just lift like that. I I want to put a pin and a slot in there or something so it stays down. That'd help a lot. But otherwise, it works for what I need right now. So I might make a second video later updating it on where I'm at. Let me know if you guys want me to do that. And thanks for watching.